Hi, I'm Dean Rod. Welcome to the channel. Today we'll talk about the realizations of quitting coffee. Hi, welcome to the channel for the Generation X. Here I give my rants, my stories, my opinions on certain issues of the day and how the Generation X survives in the 2020s. Today, in this video, I'll talk about my story on why and how I quit coffee and also the realizations that come with it. October last year, October 2023, I contracted pneumonia while I was in the UK. And then as I was coming home from the UK, my, uh, my pneumonia sort of came back. So on the flight arriving here in the Philippines, in Manila, 2 hours before landing, I suffered some lung compressions. My lungs tightened, my chest tightened, I couldn't breathe properly. And so as soon as we landed, I went straight to the hospital where I stayed for almost a week, where they treated my pneumonia. And then a month later, I contracted COVID. And so it really took a toll on my lungs. And so one of the things my doctor decided was not necessarily like to don't exercise, but at least because my breathing is now limited, hampered. So the more, what's to call this, the more activity I have, stress activity, it'll be more difficult for me. So I decided on my own, that without any doctor's advice, to quit coffee. Why? As you know, coffee is a stimulant, and quitting coffee, I'm having less caffeine in the body, so my body's adjusting to have less stimulants. And so today I'll give you the five realizations, five what effects of quitting coffee. So the first one is that my wallet is thicker, meaning I'm spending less. Why? Well, I did some research with my friend Joe Versosa in San Francisco. I asked him for a picture of how much are the Starbucks in the California, San Francisco area. And he gave me a picture. I'll give you a shot here. It was actually $6 for a grande or medium cup. In the Philippines, that's about less than 200 pesos. And I calculated that if I drank two coffees a day, Monday to Friday during the work week, at 52 weeks a year, that's roughly around $3,000. So in the end, I'm 3,000 richer by the end of the calendar year. So I can use that money for something else. But what I realized much more is that it's not I'm saving money. I'm actually saving time. It's the time where I have to walk from work or wherever I am, walk to the coffee shop, fall in line, order the coffee, pay, and wait in line again, so to speak, for the coffee, and then walk back to work. That'll take about an hour or so. So I'm actually saving, if I take 2 trips a day, that's 2 hours of my day saved. So it's not just saving money, I'm also saving time. The next realization that came up is now that I have a new fondness for non-caffeinated tea, especially chamomile. Well, during my stint in the UK where I had pneumonia, of course I got to taste or drink some chamomile tea, and that really soothed my body. Of course, it's all subjective. It depends on how tea treats you. But for chamomile tea, it actually soothed my lungs. Yeah, actually got to relax more, breathe better, and so now that is my go-to tea. Sometimes I drink matcha or green tea, as long as there's not too much. I don't know if there's caffeine in matcha, but it doesn't give me that caffeinated feel. And so right now, instead of going, but if I have to go to a coffee shop, if ever, or if I'm given a beverage, if I'm visiting a home or somewhere else, I opt for tea rather than coffee. But if there's no choice to have caffeinated, let's say black tea or English breakfast tea, I'll take that over coffee. The third realization, I would say third benefit from quitting coffee, is that I get better sleeping hours. Yeah, with coffee with caffeine in the system, you're more active. I don't want to say it's adrenaline, but your body's more active because the coffee stimulates or makes your brain active. Not maybe not the body, but the brain. And so when the sleepiness comes in or when the melatonin kicks in, it actually kicks in earlier within the day. So before I used to average sleeping around midnight or 11 p.m. Now I can get to fall asleep maybe 9:30 to 10. Since I still wake up the same time the next morning, I actually have an hour or so longer sleep time. So one of the benefits of quitting coffee is, at least for me, I have better, longer sleeping hours. All right, the fourth realization or maybe benefit that I have from quitting coffee is that I don't have the pressure for the habit. Meaning I don't seek out coffee. I don't have the coffee as part of my routine in the morning like the other people. They can't survive without their morning brew. I can. Now, I got used to it. Maybe the caffeine's pulled out of my system, and at the same time, I don't I people are not pressured to give me coffee also. If I go to visit some friend or visit a house, they know that I don't need coffee anymore. So there's less pressure on the habit. I mean, I did drink coffee when I was in law school. I am a lawyer and I'm also a law school dean. And the thing was, coffee was not keeping me awake. It was the act of drinking. So I guess during law school, that's the effect on me. But now I don't need to do that anymore. If I do need to stay awake, I will drink that coffee, but only to stay awake. Let's say if I have to drive home late, or maybe I have to stay awake for a certain thing, I will drink that coffee, but that's rare these days. Okay. The fifth realization of quitting coffee is that I actually have lower blood pressure numbers. As you know, at my age and my looks, I do have high blood pressure. I also do have a heart condition, and I do measure my blood pressure twice a day, if not even more, one in the morning, one in the evening. And because of what I have, I'm averaging around 140 to over 90. And it's in the middle of the day where it's really higher than normal. So it might go to 150, even 160. But at rest, I would hardly go down below 130 over 80. But now with less caffeine in my system, less caffeine in my body, I can actually bring it down to 120 over 80. Sometimes it goes to 115 over 70. So I think for me alone, I don't know if it's for others, one of the benefits of quitting coffee was that I have a lower average blood pressure. All right, thank you. I hope you enjoyed my part of my story of quitting coffee. If you can, and if you will, please like this video, share if you can, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I would really, really appreciate it. It'll make my channel grow, and it will encourage me to make more videos like this. If you have any topics that you might want to talk about, please put in the comments, and I'd love to hear from you. Peace, guys.